The COVID-19 pandemic has also hurt foreign businesses operating in the country. Now that a recovery is underway, will we see foreign investors setting up shop in the Philippines? Tonight, we have the British Chamber of Commerce Philippines, Chris Nelson, to give us his outlook. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. We've seen strict lockdowns in the country from March 2020 all the way until today. We are still in alert level 2 in the National Capital Region, which is the economic hub of the country. How have British investors been coping over the past 19 months?
Yeah, look, Rico, thank you very much and welcome to your viewers tonight. Look, the interest in the Philippines remains high. We've kept it going, I'm pleased to say. Obviously, we've got a lot of challenges. I think the COVID management of the economy is now moving there. As you've obviously, your report has said, it's moving to level 2, hopefully. And obviously, as a chamber, we support the granulated lockdowns. I think the way also investors are looking at it, and I want to talk about signals, and that's why I think the economic measures which are currently being debated, particularly the Retail Trade Act, Foreign Investment Act, Public Service Act, is very important. So overall, it's been challenging. We're pleased to say our members have stayed. What they're looking for, of course, is that the economy will continue to reopen, and also that those measures that I've referred to, starting with the Retail Trade Act, will be passed very shortly.
All right. Economic reforms and changes were some of the key economic priorities of President Duterte in his last State of the Nation address before he steps down in 2022. How soon do you think will these measures be passed? Could it be before the end of his term? Could it be by the end of the year?
Well, look, we're very confident with regards to the Retail Trade Act. That's already passed the bicameral. Our understanding is it's now waiting for the signatures of the Senate President and also the House Speaker. That then will move the enrolled bill to the presidential office for signature by President Duterte. Of course, this is a certified urgent bill. The next one, which is the Foreign Investment Act, we think that's close to it. And finally is the Public Service Act. So I do think that definitely the Retail Trade Act, and that would be a great signal and a great opportunity for us to herald that, which we will do in the UK. So certainly we see a lot of progress with Retail Trade Act, Investment Act, and we'd like to see the Public Service Act. It can all be done, and we would urge Congress, obviously, and everybody to work together to get it done.
Indeed, this is very encouraging, these potential reforms and changes which could attract more British investors to the Philippines, Chris. But on the flip side, the Philippines also faces many issues. I mean, we have been saying that the Philippines continues to remain at the bottom of Bloomberg's COVID-19 resilience ranking. And then you also have the Farmally expose, cases of graft and corruption. Are these factors, Chris, discouraging British companies in making new or additional investments in the Philippines?
Look, I think what British investors are looking at, and I can talk about a few points, is looking much more at the long term. As you've made a reference to, the Philippines was growing at 6% pre-pandemic. They're looking forward to seeing how that come back. I'd like to also say that one of our member companies, Michael Page, a recruitment agency, established itself last year and has continued to grow. So that's an indication of faith in the economy. The other thing is we work closely with the British Embassy. We have a section called the Overseas Partner Development. And I'm pleased to say we focus on key sectors: retail, food and beverage, advanced machinery, business services, agri-tech. And we're pleased to say we've actually even managed to sign companies up. And one of those in advanced machinery has already found a partner, is starting doing business, which we've secured this year. So yes, management of the pandemic is important. We'd obviously like to see the Philippines rise through. And I'd like to just say, of course, we're strong supporters of the economy reopening. And of course, let's be fair, the vaccination rate is going up, particularly in Metro Manila. And I'd just like to say that one of the first vaccine suppliers was AstraZeneca, and obviously through the efforts of British Chamber, British Embassy, I should correct myself. And of course, we're strong supporters of Goni Gosho and Jerry Conception and the Bakuna bubble and going forward and making the economy rise. So Those factors
Chris?
tell you that investors are interested. If we can get
All
those
right.
measures passed, I would see more coming.
All right. There's a lot of interest from UK investors, but of course, in the Philippines, politics and like in any other country, politics and the economy are all intertwined. How closely are you and your fellow UK investors watching the former or the forthcoming national elections? And what characteristics are British investors looking for in the new president?
Well, I think I'd make a couple of points. There's still obviously the next election is not till May. Just to make the point again, we want to see those economic measures passed during this current administration. Going forward, the next administration, we'd like to see a continued focus, obviously, on measures which will further liberalize the economy, further transparency in dealing. I'd like to make a reference to the anti-tape law. We were strong supporters of that, setting up and doing ease of business, which I think is another key focus. And of course, the Philippines remains attractive to British companies. First of all, folks, because of your very talented population here, and it's very dynamic. So if we can get those measures in and continue to see investments in infrastructure and also, as I said, doing ease of business, that I think is what the investors are looking for from the next administration.
British Chamber of Commerce, Philippines Executive Director Chris Nelson, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word.